grew up in the late 50s, early 60s. Well, the activities we did centered around survival, I would say, because we didn't have electricity. In other words, there wasn't running water, so you had to carry your water. You didn't have any way to heat your water if you were going to do your laundry, so you had to put it in a pot and boil. So we were busy doing things like that and working around the farm. That was my activities. Not a lot of free time. If we didn't have anything to do, we would go to the barn and get peanuts, because we grew our own peanuts, and we'd pick off the peanuts to bring them to the house and put them in the oven and roast peanuts. Or shell popcorn, because we raised our own popcorn, and we would shell it so we could pop popcorn.
I grew up in the 50s and the 60s. Oh, we went to the movies, rode bikes. We didn't have skateboards in those days. We had skates, so we went to the skating rink sometimes. Well, for my family, I mostly did the yard work and helped around the house, cleaning, helped my grandmother a little bit. I grew up at my grandmother's house. My mother lived with my grandparents.
The kids were all assigned chores because we lived on a farm and everybody had chores and carrying water. Of course, I was the oldest child, so I had to help take care of the other children. So I had a lot of responsibility like that. But since we raised cotton, we had to chop cotton, we had to pick cotton. If my parents were sick, if my father was sick, I had to feed the cows and milk the cow, which was not a favorite chore of mine. I could milk, but I didn't want to get too close to the cow, so that posed a problem.
Well, it was a time when there were not as many efforts to rewrite our history or to be ashamed of what our country is like, and not being ashamed of being a Christian or being an American. So it was different from the pressures that kids have today. We didn't have to defend America, we didn't have to defend freedom, we didn't have to defend Christianity. We just accepted it. Most people were proud to be Americans. They understood working hard, making a living. So it's different than what the kids have to deal with today. It was easier, I think.
I think it made me appreciate the things we have today, because in that era, we didn't have all the amenities that we have now. And today, since I grew up like that, I really appreciate electricity. Today's generation does not, they do not get the sense of responsibility, because in that era, if we did not help our parents, we really didn't, have water to drink or wash, or the chores we had to do. Our parents couldn't do everything. So today, we had a sense of being a unit. Everybody you belonged and you had a chore. Today's children, mom and dad both work, they make good money, and the kids, they don't have any responsibility, so they don't feel like a unit in the family. They belong to the family and they're loved by the family, but they don't have any sense of responsibility. They know that if they don't take the garbage out, so what? If we didn't bring water in for our family, there wasn't any water to drink. So I think today's children are missing out on not having enough responsibilities.
Well, I don't know that they're missing out by not going back in time, but they're definitely missing out in that we were regularly exposed to the founding fathers and their ideas and what made America great, the rule of law, belief in God, and that was in our school and in everything that you did. And today, they don't spend much time talking about things like that. We're more into global warming and income inequality and that sort of thing, which we've always had income inequality and we'll always have it, but it's not caused by America.